Mary Liz, hi. How you doing? Listen, man, I'm really sorry. I didn't know that you were not feeling comfortable in the class. I really didn't, and I apologize. This might be the first time you've been asked to really do research for a design project, and it won't be the last. So that's why I thought it would be a good idea to go back and start from week two and take a look at the direction and more importantly, do you understand the research and the reasoning behind it and how to go about it? And I think you do based on the difference between the first and this post, especially this comparison right here that you made, this before and after. This is, in your writing here, and, just you indicating that you understand really goes a long way. And let me explain what I mean. So you have this Torino that is based on some sort of, I don't remember, was that a building, I think? I don't really want to go through and find I thought it was a building, or I think it was some sort of an artifact, but some sort of architecture. Gosh. So my point is that you, by showing this, I think you understand that this was a designer's depiction or a designer's rendition or visual representation of what they felt would be a good way to for the viewer to identify this location and the Olympics with this visual mark, so it all ties together. Okay, and that's all fine and dandy, but this mark is not cutting it. Why? Because it just, I mean, just because we're going to try to look like in this case, a building, I think, or if you're trying to design your logo to look like a geographic location or a natural resource or a architectural resource, as in this case. So there's a big difference between showing a in this situation a look at what you think that building might look like and taking it to the next step and deriving at this, where it's a completely modern look at what would otherwise be considered a really antiquated mark. Okay, now does this say this kind of architecture, this kind of refreshing look at architecture by looking at it? No, that's why when we read about the artists or the designer's idea behind this, now it starts to make sense that this designer felt that this was a good idea, a good place to start, but this makes more sense because it fits more in with today's, or at least 2006, um, you know, modern graphics and modern look at something that might otherwise be considered an antiquated mark, as I said before. So I hope that makes sense. Um, and you've got these other things, that these images and these, a lot of things that you're really starting to identify as potential visual assets that you might be able to use, if not in your visual work, certainly in the written description of your visual work. Just like this guy had to write a description of this work, and in so describing that it's his rendition and modern rendition of this older look. Do you understand what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense, because that's really the crux of this week, and that's really the idea behind research. Okay, so you've got this other research, and yes, you're this is great. You've got the flag. Now, the one thing I didn't see is this flag. Do you intend on using this flag as in some way as sort of a visual assistance? Do you intend on using the bowl or the colors, or what is it about this flag here that you decided that why is it in your presentation, I guess, is what I'm saying. Sports, these are all the winter Olympic sports, I'm guessing. I don't know if that's all of them or not. I know they've added a few in recent years, but okay. So, and you say the official website of Torino opening game, closing ceremonies, ultimate visual awesomeness, and massive choreographies that Sumptuous costumes, blah, 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 is described. Okay, so we can take that. That's good because now you're taking this and you're describing visually about the wow effect, and that's something visual that you can use. Is there something about the opening ceremony? Is there something that you can use to assist your design? Okay, and then we get back to what we talked about earlier. Um, so so is this making sense where we're going from here? So in other words, I think that what you want to do is you want to say, all right, what is it about this whole get up and all of my research? What is the one thing that's sticking out in my head? Is it, let's say hypothetically, it's this tower. Let's say this is or hypothetically, it's this tower. So I'm going to draw this tower and I'm going to try to use it in my logo. And I'll probably come up with something clumsy at first, and then I'll refine that and I'll refine that. But I know this is a landmark in my location of choice. So I want to work this into my logo. Okay. Maybe you're just going to use the top spire. Maybe you're going to use the whole thing, but you're going to start sketching at ideas. And then I'm saying hypothetically, maybe you'll find something else. Maybe it's the mountains. Maybe you can use this as your logo and somehow use the background mountains as your background graphics for your program for the Olympics. Do you see what I'm saying? But the reason I started this presentation the way I did is because I want you to think about if you're going to use something like this for your visual identity or to start creating your visual identity. Do you want it to look like this, or do you want to try to create some sort of a modern look here? For example, back to this, okay? This would be synonymous with your choice of saying, okay, I want to use this tower. And then this would be synonymous with your design after sketching and studying that tower and saying, okay, I don't want it to look like a tower. I want it to look like this because of these reasons. Do you understand? I want it to have this movement because it reflects the movement of the athletes during the Winter Olympics or whatever your conceptual methodology might be, okay? I'm going to leave it right there, and I'm going to hope that makes sense. Give me a call or shoot me a quick email. Let me know you're working. I'll sleep better tonight if I know that this particular presentation made sense to you. Okay? Thanks very much.